Good afternoon, and welcome to Feed Ghana.
Sure, good afternoon.
I would me share Honorable Agric Opoko.
Sure.
Na me jin amantem. Because
Udi Kanjano.
Yeah. Ivan Kyei.
And my memo about for taking upon yourself such a bold initiative, because I think there is a growing disengagement when it comes to Agric in this country. And especially young people who don't see said there is a future or Agric. So you see this sharp decline. Post-independence, now things are Agric labor force and I employ around 60 to 70%, but I track it down to 2010, 30 to 35. So there is a sharp decline. I think programs like this will help to at least who they need, because Agric, that has always been the backbone of Ghana's economy. So we can't just turn a blind eye at the programs and initiative like this. And I think that the various stakeholders, like the minister, you said, should come on board, because it will take education platforms like this just to sensitize the general public, especially young people, who they need to go into Agric. So I'm more about for taking upon yourself this.
Yajini kese, I mean, if you can see in yajini, I mean, I'm in pain for yajina bum. Yes, so yes, so ended on no dem giddy. Manko temen to me, yen namatina hano, one so mumu, some tiesum yedum. So thank you so much for boy yana abado. All right, Ivan, and I yedzen komo irabri to the Ghanaian youth out there. Yana topic and so, but we'll find a way I yebechim. Sunday in Ria, that Sunday Yamiadoma,
sure,
Yabochedo. But then, Mammy be said there, say, for money gun and Uncle Sa. Any youth, ye can youth now, in handing up, so be it ya. If you're back at a youth in your secondary school fund, and I don't want to war university. Now, why a platform as a Azizi? Let's take it from that angle. Now, Yen sit down and talk about us involved.
I think so I follow a lot of political discussions across Ukruma because of the way I hear politics in even 50 years ago, so we are youth. I might say categorization at where to start from. Sure. But I think Obia, I want a youthful age and a freer, at least only left from the right. You classify yourself as youth, or get it into life. I think from that age go you can classify yourself as a youth. Opportunities I can't say me or how with me I take advantage of. But the problem I want to say, I think that over the years, you who say Agric a sector life a woman as a young person coming up, as a ordinary hukoshim, and they don't even think say it pays. I will go into Agric. So focus has always been me secondary school. I have to go to the university. After university, metro application to various offices just to seek employment. Able to have a kanama botai, matana kem as for and your parents, and so
that's
they have
life we know.
Exactly. And parents be also in the Belco school. The idea say over your office akwakotana. And I think that is the problem, because Agric sector around the world is one of the biggest contribution to GDP around the world. It's one of the major things that you focus on. For me, there are a lot of potential bit behind the said and Namisi camp post independence. Now it was the major backbone. All the export and coming from agriculture. Cocoa has always been the major backbone of Ghana's economy. But consistently, there is a sharp decline. Now I say numbers in the country yet me produce over 1 million tons of your friends saying cocoa. Ya ba bedru a point even 500,000 cry nya as say amanoka say cocoa man ya the amount for ka ayakoju musika bedi. We need to produce to fill the gap. So I think that we need to sensitize young people, who they need to go into Agric. Sure. And for me, if you go to places like America, most of the richest people are Agric entrepreneurs. Some have a fortune, a net worth of about 8 billion thereabout. A lot of them are into Agric at a larger scale. But say the ACK, and I'm saying you conscientize your mind to that,
Yeah.
That is the need for us to unscript, and the OUA is just the beginning. So I think the government as a critical stakeholder must see the need not on coming in, because it's one avenue where bomber. The youth unemployment now grow you better me reverse the trend by making sure say we make Agric a very your friend is saying an avenue where people will be interested. We need to motivate people, and I'm saying these startup capitals are binding major some startup companies in Nasafon. We can do the same for Agric. There are a lot of young people are ready to go in, but said where to start from. So for me, for instance, there is a concept, and I'm an national service. We can even start from there. People after your friend is saying school, there are some who will be willing to go into. You can't farm in a yard. There are several areas. Agric or your friend is saying poultry farming.
Livestock is there.
Livestock and then as a
we have production.
Exactly.
We have the engineering aspects.
A lot of them. Yeah. So government making the incentives available. So person what we national service now person will go into Agric. These are incentives that are available. Those who will be sitting in the offices, maybe government has decided so to you 500 Ghana cedis. But if you are ready to go extra to go into Agric, maybe you take extra cash, and that will be a motivation for people. And again, farming at a larger scale, using machineries and those kind of way stating state farms in Nasefonum, so that every region, every constituency, a national project. Our government can employ some of these young people, incentivize you or machines, and then there are technology that are available. AD in some of these production of farming at a larger scale. We are product in Benyano. Ebeka krom ha ya yebetimi asan de bi akwa abonten asan akwa konya sika. For me, I think there is one thing that we can do.
You are painting a very big picture. Obi te here no beka de papa yer kasa, but asam na can kese. Yeah, sure. Now that we've gotten to know that this is the youth we are talking about, with the right mind, sound mind, and all that, looking at the percentages, so kind of about from 15 to 35, maybe 38% now. Paint for us, or be a teenager paint. There's a youth na make into agriculture. What is it?
Okay.
What is it about? But them. Sisi I know work on radio do, work on TV do, agriculture, and all that is the backbone. Sure, yatinina. But meti hasisi ano say if I am waking up there, I want to be a youth in agriculture. Because you've mentioned machinery. You've mentioned that a travel call outsider. There are young people who are into this, and they are doing it on a large scale. You and I know. You're farming a Ghana hano. Or backyard farming. Watch it. I go to my village, my grandmother. Wama me assassin people, we don't even understand the acres. But so you half acre. So you're an acre, so you're 2. Maje. Since the youth are trying, make go into snail farming, make go into rabbits, make go this. But paint a picture for me. So that if there's Monso Watinifia, Obeka okay. So this is youth in agriculture. Because Brofana Ikese. And we are explaining it all around into what is youth in agriculture.
Okay. Youth in agriculture has to do with consciously, young people, yatana see who say Agric said there are several sectors. Said the Usibo Boso, livestock, farming and kasa, and a whole lot of areas. Now what Tanasia who said this area where Matanasia who says say now meet me na market I can't near we are the obit me and your free munie. Now what Tanasi I yes assessment in we are not what said the city I say not least for instance your poultry. Ebia minisika be 40 million but wait me start it with maybe about 10 20 for bet small area be a war wait me dia chance and as young people like many about 4 people coming together say me wakakra na yemfa nye bibi tamunya start na say eduru baby no there are supporter said me see can some of these things are coming up. Government can support these young people, so you started a thing on your own, maybe with 5 or 10 bears. But this is I know someone started bibintino. Then government is coming in to support you. Sabaya wait may expand it to a larger scale. And some of these things, I saw a young man also started the 20 bears and the started here. Now he has over about 5,000 bears. One person or no abaya obi was I employing the young people apart from bears your friends X or produce on weekly basis or see demands no cry no sabi on to me meeting then as for so the prospect there is very huge. So sometimes you might not get government say gidi young and answer you may not have the enough capital and as for but the little one will be no wait me start it. That is why I prefer say in groups because that one there is an energy, there is this kind of motivation obia the so when you start and these opportunities are there, you can take advantage and then expand your tentacles. And as you see, when we say enko baby a be grow be do baby na what do baby. Now also no government is a role to play in some of these things. When young people are ready to do some of these things, the thing is
don't
all right.
I want the ordinary young man listening, and I bet and be already say better. So today,
yes,
I explain, I mean, me oba or your youth, or friends. Miss my oba betu market I'm going into youth in tech.
In tech.
Me call it technology. Me call boy online business. It's the same thing that you can also do with Agric. But the during there, you can Agric now. You can't last a whole. Internet you're interested in because I make academy IT. That's a me call boy your friend and online company. Another pedometer provision shop in I see it. I wake up in the morning.
Society crash see you some way.
Thank you.
Yes.
And miss youth in agriculture. Now my son, now my class.
Yes.
Maybe first degree, and maybe me diploma, now maybe.
As I'm one passing to now by Agric.
That is it.
Yeah,
so,
it's true.
So the mentality of the youth out there in there. Sabiota frache. When I was born, when I was done.
Yeah.
So we need to have a way to clear it. And thank you for explaining my task today. Just as you are going out there to open your shop and all that, if you can also come together. And I thank that you use in Nkokono.
Just poetry.
The
The
agenda needs to be pushed.
Yeah.
All right. Into my for the maybe certain question there. Then how important do we have to get them engaged in this agriculture?
It's very, very important because there be a say an idle brain is the devil's workshop. And Ghana, your population, youthful population, and a dozen. Even though
the workshop is going on.
Yes, because if you have nothing to do, the devil will employ you and give you a job to do. So, first one, engaging them nankasano, a way of disengaging them from some of these possible crime or maybe the possible employment obi at the bemau. And when you start from that particular point, now you know say at least when you be what they wabrabo ebabaye, and it pays because said the musicano because you can easily become your friend is an owner of maybe a poultry farm. Then as a former, you'll be able to employ other people as well. Instead of be a job seeker, and now you are ready to employ people under your fold, and they will also learn, and in the years to come, almost bit me and some of these enterprises I can myself. So what now had the amount of money I had the crown near at the back room in terms of eggs and then as a form. Now said there is a local your friend saying facility a bit me provided those things. Trust me, I have money making avenue, but we have overlooked it because over the years, you can't employment. We are thinking about offices. We are thinking about say now boss
that's what society
yes. But these areas, some of these young guys, taking this next step, so we'll take it and we'll visit some of them. Trust me, some are young millionaires on their own because of a great poultry, some pig farming, and then other livestock. Where clearly you could see that these are areas my attention, but you deliberately a lot of avenues. So I be my things. We need to sensitize young people. Sabi or who they need say Agric na ye cano and your punishment. Agric na ye cano and yes, what fast kind of room now quacodo. The last time
that is what we see.
Yes.
And we are in 2025. Ivan, we're in the 21st century.
Yeah.
We still see our fathers, our mothers, and our uncles in agriculture. Work it a cutlass, small radio no.
Yes, you see
radio no.
And that is what government need to come in.
So how do we then make
system.
it attractive?
that is when these incentives are available. The opportunities are there. Ghana for because the Padodo send a bit to me and access to some of this machinery I can't want mean. But when they are available, now say at least in a district in the constituency, you could be an agency of a rice farming at a larger scale. These things are there for high to do, and a government can find a way of assisting or supporting some of these things at a district or regional levels. I'll wait me there. People will be willing to go. For instance, if you go to Kumasi, this Kaya thing at some point in time, a lot of way now politics and a month working. We see young, energetic people climbing down from the north to Kumasi to do Kayaye, and government will tell you it's a messy hostel amount to come and Kayaye. When there are opportunities up there, vast land up there in the north. Rice farming, irrigation, you can say invest into some of these. These young people can stay and commit their strength, everything into this rice farming, because government can make provision and make sure that there is ready market. There is a place that people will buy, and then we also cut down the import so that the market here will boom. These are some of the things that you need to do. So, unfortunately for us, I think that many some of these things we think in a linear scale, and we think because China experimented some of these things and they've gotten to where they are. They realize that we have the numbers. Because when it comes to numbers, they have numbers. America far. They realize, okay, how do we leverage our numbers for economic success? And now China is an example because they started producing things they would need. Started buying, cut down import. And DBS or Tofu America, no, they are more than a substitute. Oh, mukrum, they have to buy. At some point in time, you see the new devalue and the Chinese people deliberately devalue their yuan. Sebeye disincentive for average Chinese person to have a taste for foreign good. So iPhone baba. You and do obenya and son waiting to iPhone back on over the old better Huawei and now the better. So this is a conscious policy. I'll bet your man for Nigeria Koso say and near man I turn about you can equally get them here. But how do we start? We start by said the you're making sure that the investment into Agric and the other areas now by a huge. So by young people but me taking advantage. So we'll be free enough ever. Now, so whose opportunities not exist at the top there. Rice farming there is something that the person can do on monthly basis and on weekly basis and baby and on in kabum say your best starting baby government will be ready to support them and their support system locally or taking advantage of it. Trust me, nobody will come all the way from north to Kumasi or bar sabi ushie bia no but ohiane aseminti na or there will be chaos and nim. Kumase na akrasa nshenechi. It's so sad. And we see some of these things and we think that it's okay. We see hostels are more. It doesn't even make sense. You understand? So for me, the potential no opportunities no but you're ready to tap in. So this awareness and a man for so last time I know we have a conversation. Oko biya from Akoma Dine to Techima to Nkranzan and so adio mo ye ho adwuma tomatoes. Chroma fear ben a yenity tomato mo chroma say. Fear bay muna wa craha yenity tomato. So just making sure say in the next 5 years we are not importing a single tea tomato. Yes, factory maybe a commandine Techiman and answer way tomato beer mobile beer bring it to the factory. Yeah, say young fan carbon tia the whole Ghana young consuming what we produce. Do you know the market we can create, the employment that we can give to people? So these things are not rocket science. They are not heavy thinking that you need to go Harvard or go any distance. These are common sense. But the thing is, the policy makers are the same people who are importing some of these things here. So I know the day, no. Or cut it down import now or no the obenyano. So we are prioritizing individual greed over the larger welfare of the majority of the people. Okay. A higher power 97.9 FM feed Ghana Jumezina was a good Ivan and Yenyeneze in Como area and we are talking about youth in agriculture. I know that in Komono why you do and you are learning something from it because messages that are coming in Chebisa there. And so if I have a first degree, na me pay juma in Agrica, do I have to go and search for Asase or do I have to go somewhere? Do I have to call a number? How do I get involved with this? Na so one more attractive so I won't keja hin in same finfina na mbocho
has anybody left you? Well, in Sunifin. Do you think so? Is that what's on your mind? Do be a job on Sunifin. Or be a job on Sunifin. A common years, trying to build ourselves, trying to get draw the attention of the youth into agriculture, and then ensure that pepe. About any baby will be someone who there intimate your school fees maybe na mebana besana akodo. So when we get the understanding and the concept that is no more about cutlass and hoa, maybe obey lucrative maybe that is why the minister is saying that is putting things in place for all that. I think what conversation or any press conference, and he said a lot, and anybody who will listen in, will buy into whatever that we are looking out for. And so I'm seeing a light somehow.
Yes,
somehow
if only we be able to move beyond the rhetorics. Yes, I think that is very, very important. You see, when it comes to politics, talking there sometimes very easy, but the real commitment, in some way, I can and your rocket science, and
it's not new.
No, they are basic stuff. So all that you need is the political will and commitment. At every region or every district, we are setting up state farms. As state farms, there is a direct policy and guidelines. They are structured in such a way, say every district you will nipa who be in charge of these state farmings, and at the same time motivating and incentivizing individuals with capital and all that they need is assure them say they will be market ready. They have the money, they have funds, and there are investors who will be willing. For instance, say a banker in the next 10 years, stop it rice import. Now we are going to depend on local production, and I see a cut import by maybe 50% locally. Trust me, there are a lot of people who will be ready to invest in people to go into rascal, because every business person wants profit. But you see, there is this uncertainty. And nobody will venture into an arena, and as no business person will invest in the money where on your results, and I said there is this uncertainty. So I think that these policies must be your friends policies are very coherent. A mudaho, nanya says some short space policy be all of a sudden you don't even see the future of those policies. The Kasa now minister no cano
it's very sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah, but I think we need to move beyond the rhetoric, engage young people. Exactly. Because that should be a project. Sensitization should even be the beginning of this whole thing.
That is it.
Yes, because
I bet not the Ghanaian youth or whoever that is interested doesn't fall in love with it. Obeka is one of those things. You came, you said it, you promised and all that.
Yes.
And the final word they will say is, and so what?
Exactly. And say, you're you cry now, you're planting for food and jobs. You're planting, minimum says you're planting for the
you're planting.
Exactly. It got to a point, not ministry and a tomboard and a bunch.
Yes.
That was a joke. Because the whole thing was a mere political rhetoric. At the end of the day, huge monies sank into these enterprises. It went directly into the pocket of people. Because the same Manoka saying, you catch us a dividend again and you're free. That particular project, but when it was coming, so we will be aware, Agric enthusiast.
My dear,
you were so endeared to the project.
Ready.
You understand? But at the end of the day, it became a cash cow. Some people were just harvesting.
So how that's why I'm aligning it to this.
Yes.
And in line with our youth.
Yes.
There you come.
Yes.
You are saying that we should all be in and Sambra, but what is the education going down?
Exactly.
Who are talking about it there? Our youth not na abuano hono na onye juma na why devastated na and apa mo bezin poidrin hon. There's this big door that you've opened. So what's the aiders or walk through another, even if they get to the gate, how do they even get to the gate?
Yes.
And who would they talk to walk in?
Yes.
So you see, was sure, you feel, kono, but Jinasa is so modern.
Yes. So with this, I even think, even at the local level, at the various district assembly level, we need to have some engagement platforms be at the district level. No, somebody can approach somebody and talk to somebody. All that they need is just a mere guideline. They have their money, they have everything. Just walk them through how they can go about it. This sensitization education thing need to be uplifted to a different level altogether, because CSC making agriculture the backbone. We need to walk the talk and make sure that we get in young people, because they are the very people with the energy. Makes it around the world. Economy grow no. It depends on the kind of workforce our workforce near young people. And for us, we are very fortunate. Africa, we virtually have everything. But unfortunately, no, we import everything to this country. Over on mine we are, on mine is Vietnam. This is a country that is resurrecting from the ashes of a prolonged war. Vietnam War be any. But the most interesting thing is that in 2023, Ghana filed $234 million. Echo or Maya or no wakuntokwa for so many years. I think we went there and bought rice. $234 million. And yet the back room say. Yes. Unless we consciously move beyond the kasana kasa keke no, now you're making sure say at the northern regions, there are vast land. The last time I went to Volta region, we have lands. How do we engage to ensure say people find it attractive and go into some of these things? These are big policy initiatives that must come from government. And I think they are turning Agric around that. These are the bold initiatives that we need to put to a peg somewhere. In the next 5 years, poultry import are cut it by 50%. So local players move in, make sure you are able to fill the gap. When it comes to rice production, the next 5 years, we are cutting it by this percentage. Local players, make sure you move in, and government will be working side by side with these individuals and make sure that we are able to fill in the gap. You can't cut the import altogether because you're consuming a lot. Ebasa, you create a gap. But you see, I think that if government is able to partner with some of these individuals, trust me, we will be able to pull it. Because Agric alone, for the past several years, has been the major backbone. Post-independence, cocoa then as a form has always been by a we can't even say anything about cocoa. I think we need to.
On this show, I had a very elderly man calling in Orica. The things, the cocoa, the cash, whatever we are talking about. You mentioned you're very solid there. This is it and all that. And it's important that we draw our attention to this. But you being a youth yourself, this afternoon, me pocho. Talk to the youth that is listening, the Ghanaian youth the Ghanaian mother, the Ghanaian father that is listening. I know that BBI be brave when you but what are some of the key words I be and you want to bet in Komobeka there based on the Madi, based on Iyintino, hold on. What the minister is saying, what they are saying, youth in Agric, youth in this, it will boom, it will pick.
Yes, I think that the can country our phone say and near master and yet Agric I fat sekine I saw a comurum say ya kwakodo ya friend is saying kakra na sabi adibian frimuma o do the obedi and the obedi feed family no. We've moved beyond that particular thing. And nessa or backase or go into Agricia and yes, our bon and I say Sukuna near Manquaya Mano, but a huge avenue and make a lot of money. And away a young person now don't drown in frustration. Men and officer Abra will per you can start something on your own. Agric and your case. So we go in it's an avenue you can make a lot of your friends. It's not a case. I just said Abraham Kuya Mount and I would have Quacoshim. Number is one area. I want a lot of untapped potential. Or mine and I am my new corso. Advanced countries like America, California, the major thing contributor to GDP. I agree. Can you pan in a larger scale? These are areas ya kaya hubom as a mrantium no anam and say free school aba ya pese started poultry farmer. Just make it a point today from this program say one no nam for ba kwa na me no bi wo da muntu min start hwe no poultry mon ton kokko be obi anto 10 na mon kamom na mon pe ba bi na mon start. And I think that in the next 1 year no obaba be di ho dance ebe boom yama, and for the next be about 1, 2, 3 years, you know, you be a employee nipa, not obi a seeking job. You can give it a try. Use this particular program. Now use it as a starting point. Now for sure, what they say, my name and for me and 9 you go into livestock, poultry. Now you not try not hard yet because I've seen a lot of young people or to Kwanko Dubai. Oko na near man mano and obaye and he started some of these things and then the testimonial more man now who ni pana ukusi clear young person has been able to buy tracks or no ankasa out there sported ne eggs and then as a form or sometimes will be correct to be money sika to me pass 1 month now on team fele your friend is saying gab na as or demand na nipa no make no go egg every day you consume it chicken and as a farm for consume it. So I think that these are areas that meant na one drowning in frustration. Just try your hand on something and uba be di one dance here. Agric is not the case. Ya avenue ya na young hun tap here, but those who mo tap into in other countries, no, they are reaping the dividend. I think say, and that's what minister promises. Abang making as a priority, no. Utikura bet me ye because this poultry, I'm sure say abang so obeche. Sa and getting 100 to 80, 100 our my individuals who are ready to go into some of these things. And see, but what will be the evidence? Say, Ubetimi as I don't know. What started back one you know, a different dance here, and then when it comes, then I think that you are good to go. Some of these small tap, no, it will give us way. And see, me too a man for what's na hana sa win juma start and na ubabe do one dance here. That is very, very important.
Starting there, Baba is one dance Ampa and higher power 97.9 FM, Feed Ghana Jumezina was so good day. And there is in common about youth in agriculture. It's in 1 year be now I started Agric, a man so in Kenchen there. We University of Koy in Agric now the Koy. Yeah. Subject of and as a Kenyan no, your friend. We are all expecting there be a beko baby and all that. And I say, Obi Anfanana in Sifu, my into me, and Yamo said, yeah. We won't go anywhere, and he has said it all. And whatever that has been put in place while communicating, you have to know that the agenda is to draw the government in, the ministry in, to listen in. I must say, obirite nasa or you're interested. We're building interest in ye. No, we're fane, wafafa ninkakrama iye because if more Kenya no car with this luncheon that is coming up, then it means we all have to set up na yehude yebenye ejuma ejuma beba but the kwana yebefa dono is you awan kasabeka chonde. I am ready to be part. I am ready yemfa so yemfa enyitu samfanzi ka de enyitu a weni wu emfa eniwu. Is one thing that is worrying our
There is no shame.
There is no shame.
Yeah.
And you won't fine yet baby because we all want to dress and look good and we all want to but painful no can once and this can no him.
Oh yeah.
Sikano.
It's unfortunate that is the mindset we have here. If you go out there, those who are making big monies, they dress dirty. Minimum obi oye juma our oil rake or that a possible bosume. And more, but these are the richest people. You know, I think we need to start educating ourselves now who they need to see this thing as an enterprise. Sabi ebetimi aboa amaya 10 year around because I don't know you are not waiting for somebody to call you from the office. Even abanya juma no kra na dodo say na di tu aka. Dodo say na di tu aka na wabede wo ho de ababa obra. We start something on your own. Trust me, I think and tiasia ni ho but say amount 40 here and they understand the scale in terms of benefit from some of these undertakings in as for now people will be rushing in because Agric, you know what comes to our mind so easily me the second kwakwa and over the years since has always been yendo na yendi yes na commercial way but we are talking about commercial farming wait me make it up your mind say and then you know so the music will depend on the kind of policy and programs that government and the support system that will be available. So be able to me, I incentivize the amount for. There are a lot of people who are traveling outside this country, virtually going out there to do nothing. People are caught up in a whole lot of situations. Sabi, omunyo opportunity to go back. What I say, but when these things do exist, trust me, about boy minus ya boy move for my mom for because as long as youth unemployment rise the cost, we are endangering the prospect of our democracy.
Sure.
Youth unemployment is a national security crisis everywhere in the world. Obekai they see, your friend is in North Africa, they see high price and those because young people no frustration built up within them. It just exploded a day, and we saw what happened. I think that we need to start making some of these avenues very enticing, so it was very appetizing. So we are young people who see the need to just walk in freely, even after university, even if you have your masters and you want to go into poultry farm and livestock. These avenues are things people can make a lot of way. But government now you making sure we support people to go into it. Yes.
Talk. That's all we are looking out for. That's all in your talk. On your talk and on Chebia mobile phone line to na tumuna etuma fre as a youth also can was a mame. Let me know what you think. What do you want to say? What how visible is this for you? Maybe so when I wake up in the morning I'm how do I do it? Who do I go to? Na yemfa number ne intumo. Na ndi in common number here 0249 069821 0249 as wo kon bedo so we na kono ebe ko in ebe ne party mpo na epede I play epede nkoko epede farm na nkasa epede engineering aspect no. Which one do you want to do? 0249069821. Hello.
Hello, Madam Pacho. Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning.
Good afternoon. Hello. Pacho, how are you?
Nyami adom now, sir.
I'm here.
Pacho, feed Ghana Jumedini. You have contribution. Our question every day, bisa.
Okay. Hey, Ivan, and then if you say, if you drop German South, your friend chief.
Okay.
Yeah, Asama America, your friend chief. No, but Asama America, I'm very, Ivan there. So I'm sorry. And I will be very, very, very happy to meet you one-on-one person in person. It seems to me most of the times, I deal with you and one Ivan. Ivan, even now a very young, but Orononaje we say Burkina president Nigeria.
Okay.
And one aspect in agriculture is very good. Let's say look at how we say Burkina president buy oil agriculture. One Adeba one before bit mama agriculture very attractive. You to be you. But let me tell you something.
Tell me.
And who do 2 acres of land. As I see let's say from the acquisition to so be 2 acres no be over applying fertilizers now now one book come more than bear 120 million. If I say 120,000 will be on a new youth I feel where secondary school near the adeno. So Sikabe no bet my day enya et me I farming.
Okay.
Say no aban the Burkina Faso Nipan a president Nadia Nomano, if you was a prisoner crying a family, dear Noye, Adio and say, one, he said, well, Cockra and Norman Fidia, what I say first, Okono, a 5 Fidia Beklawa, she go back Jono, even one land acquisition, no crying easy, and a Ghana land acquisition, and easy. What I say, it is so much man make it idea in at all, not say materials, able to the year, Jumano, you bet me the seeds, normal, say fertilizers and other stuff. Nina, Bani Diaba, Ninkavia, you to know Baba, you register. If you register, then you go on. Now, Abane, oh, so yes, I giant you, and say abandoning your inspectorate board, dear. I didn't know, on the Babisha.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Pocho, what's in a bed make us a few more about Ghana Jumezido?
Pocho, from Madam Agata, say free, and because the tema.
Okay, Madam Agata, Pocho, more contribution.
I'm common, I'm with the sister, and I'm the two minute ajipara. And to me, so me was I see. Was I sick and see almost 200 acres. And to me, so many Agric no. And to some to my friend, I even came before that. Yeah, be ya.
Pocho, Martin, say, there's one number never to honor, yes, in common. Medasa baby, Daffrey. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. What did I be make us a fee?
Pocho, from Akofa.
Akofa is
One common day,
okay.
Now, it's a mystery. Or they are one kind, honey. It is the power of equity. But over too much on a more alcohol. Young quasi good, yeah, and Stassic a second. Now, yeah, he's for no. But you remember the nothing I will die for the food you will pass your piece by you.
Okay.
When you speak a car, will be there someone else here. But you might need to know nothing. But I won't have that had a yard so. If you put you skip a little alcohol, in terms of education, if you have understanding about something, doing it is not difficult at all. But it's like fantastic. But since I started programming, we did it there, you to know, on work quite a Mancasau, what seems to be a fear. That was someone asked a crack. Put your mother to go on as asking the war, none day a bit as okay. It was just asking.
All right. Master Dasa Bebe. Number near 0249069821. Ivan, oh dear. 0249069821. What's the education, information, on code down? Say the moment the person understands now, or it's simple. Education, fall in love with it and all that. Hello. 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 Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Michael.
Michael, what's your more contribution, Uncle?
Yo, Medasi, more than your palm here. Mr. Medical can say, and cram co say, you could just have to get the meeting say, Yag Aka Hampuno. Obasha, yes, secondary school, maybe one more sit down, that's after the whole. Maybe I'm going to sit down, and headmistress, and after headmaster's nation, Commando, Hono, not a blue and a banshee, will not come with the another school from Honka. In fact, you did the answer buying the back by day in your Janibba Pants and see. One way and a can't go, I can't go, my nephew with your body, maybe on with your blue and after man, you want the garden. I thought that way. It's like a secondary school for maybe a woman sit down one now, what the honor. I'm on the door, Honna compound their bank, complain, feed your man at home. It's a big one child buying a bay Mayway, Miss Medica.
Okay, all right. National Kakarian from the last caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. Madam Temple, Peter.
Yamina Dumo, I say.
Fine. Program Alex.
Okay.
And we're let you cook.
Okay.
Patel, who in Bovois, and I think that, yeah. The town of Quad, not to register or no idea of how to go about it.
Okay. All right. Yasha Jumezia says in Commoner Konenyo we'll get you the information from the ministry because here's I been able when they were my worry was so at a sibi na enfumebe obisa there say Obano, if I'm interested, I wake up in the morning, I'm interested, I want to do it. Where do I go to? Who do I call? How do I turn and all that? And that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
What is the education? How is it going down? Ivan, you had your people.
Yeah, we even with Agric, I don't know, they used to have Agric extension officers at various district levels.
Yes, it's Agric extension officers, from the conversation we've had, one Agric officer to almost 500 people.
You see?
So ratio no put well
and it's because it's not a priority. So a priority we will beef up, make sure that we have a lot of personnel or mobile these areas just to engage, because at the local level so that they can obi all that they need is a sensitization, obi here education, obi here the how to start up. These are some of the things that we need to do as policy makers. Getting people into it. The government itself must also go in as the sole investor. Sebe ya ono so no ebetimi motivate amanfo. Say aban su ko wurama and ebema some of these marketing as for doors na bie because aban ya obi koye bi onim say ye wi anyina ye call the same market. Because as anema ye wi you see over the years the conversation has been about industrialization. I keep telling people say industrialization no free through messy form. Industrialization, no, and you see at one if you form. It start from somewhere, and Agric is the backbone of every industry around the world. For person we are. For instance, you see a 24-hour economy. I will have companies that will be running 24/7. If you are able to have the product from Agric, we set up the factories. They'll be running 24/7. Because the products now have to come from Agric. Most of them, there are other sectors that may not be necessarily Agric, but majority of them will have to come from the farmland. So who are those telling the land? Or are we going to import into our factories to do some of these things? So we need to have a national plan. Say Ghana in the next 10 years, we want to industrialize. To industrialize, this is the starting point. Agric, rice, large scale rice farming. We have the factories that will be doing the packing, the bagging, and everything ready for local usage. They are importing, and in the next 10 years, and by the time you realize, the whole Ghana will be industrialized, and people will find a job to do. But yet they are not pay lip service. Some of these things, people don't even know where to start from. That is why maybe the first thing I did, so because I've been in the media for quite some time. Who platform I dedicated solely for some of these things? Can't agree. It's something nobody even talk about. In the morning, choker politics. But these are the ideal things. You focus on educating people. I don't know, hands-on. You can easily get something to do. Get your hands doing. Starting to be a warrior. Poultry, say if you decide to go into poultry, it's something ready where people will be able to at least make money out of it. Or person go into livestock. The last time I saw 2 young people they were into cattle farming. Okay. Now I mean say cattle no grass and no boy your friends what turn back Hey. Yes. So just imagine say about 4 or 5 people coming together. Now about 3 or 4 now starting. It's an enterprise. You make a lot of money out of it. So I think that we need to make a conscious effort, sensitize people, and also you make it nearman available. Obi can about fertilizer and so forth. The previous government, I had the John Mahama government, answer na obeko na fertilizers were free, which were being distributed. I buy back on by Niger. Yeah, na nearman the amount for the Kobokin and then so. But I think that now we can also make it a priority now, sir. The distribution of some of these things, and you're ready. Sabaya or be a farmer, no person or go into a or make me take advantage, I leverage Sabaya and Niama Bitimiako. And I think say Bitimian boy. Your last words, Ivan. I think there is a good initiative, and we should continue. Anytime we are ready, I'll come, because it's one area me so much passionate and interested in. You see, youth activism is not just about talking to people. It's about creating incentives and opportunities of making me take advantage. And it's one ideal thing that people can just go in and it can change their life. So I think there is one enterprise we can commit a lot of time and energy to now sensitize your mom for, and so should take advantage, because the year can was something no. From where you are, you can start. Obikasa kra choki. Yenina if you have been a back, and it doesn't mean that you need to go back. We can go back, invest, let some people, 1 or 2 people take care of it. You hear from time to time, you check on these are things we can do. You can be in Accra, go back wherever you find land, be an answer. Space at your poultry farm, then as a phone. You can still be doing whatever you're doing here, but at the end of the day, you'll be making another thing, and it's by employer amount for in your BIA. So it's not a huge thing that you need to change your lifestyle and what me. whatever you're doing, you can still add it. And growing food in your backyard, no, and also no is a way of conscientizing people. Exactly. I don't know, may not have a massive economic value, but is a way of creating that particular things. These are things that we need to do. I bet me a boy my ten and the man I had the babedino. Do not know. The things were important. Just imagine this in Coco where there be a man for we go free Jimmy. How many months they spend on the sieving before they get here? Now what ya na wato akoko na wakunu na
so different.
Yes, tasting is different.
It's different from the freezer.
Yes. Now yakunu ho how many months na edi yansa na yeso agu fridge ma.
Emu chemicals.
Am abedi poso for almost 1 year. E be report kwa ni yikura san ya asem. Say ECG container to me the 1 year. Okay. You can imagine. So I think that we can do things to change our destiny.
All right, thank you very much, Ivan. Yeah, feed Ghana Jumezi is in Como, I power 97.9 FM. Anyway, we in Como. No, Maminda, when I was showing what joining you on Facebook, Ebenezer Agros watching you live from US, Madam. That's a nice topic. Richard Heman says powerful.